corner where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you landed here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfield.
This episode of Chief Concerns is brought to you by betonline.ag. BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, the game starts here. Hey guys, welcome back to Chief Concerns, your first post-game reaction show of the new season. So the new year is here, and Chief Concerns, we're back. I'm Marcus Dash, your legendary Chiefs tight end, Jason Dunn in the middle there, and my brother Teja Dash on the right, straight from the Chief Concerns channel. I hope everyone's doing well. Everyone's back and ready for this new football season. But tonight, obviously, Chiefs lose in a preseason game. You never want to lose a game, but it's preseason. We're not actually going out there for the wins and the losses. We're going out there to see some of the guys who need to make the team, need to make the 53. And so that's pretty much what all this preseason's about. And tonight we got to see some guys look good, some guys look not so good. But yeah, that's kind of how it is when it comes to preseason. Some days are better than others. But so right off the bat, let's just kind of get into it. Obviously, we lost, but what were some of the things that kind of stood out to you? I know the new kickoff rule is something that everyone was kind of confused about with that whole McCole Hardman safety thing. And just for the mere fact that it was the longest kickoff return that had been allowed all preseason, and that was against us today. So it looks like Dave Tobe's got his hands full with kind of trying to figure out this whole kickoff thing. But what stood out to you guys tonight?
What stood out to me, it seemed like there was, I don't want to say a lack of urgency, but maybe some legs that looked a little jello out there. Some missed tackles in the backup guys. And so that's what kind of really stood out to me. And obviously, the rookies that we were looking for them to do really well, some of the names that we put out there that we wanted to watch on alert for this game, preseason game, some didn't really show up. So that's what kind of stood out. So,
Teja, anything stand out to you tonight?
It's game one. I try not to overreact to the good and bad, but there's some things I liked and didn't like. Our opening drive of the starters looked pretty good. It stalled out. I mean, we got 3 out of it, but I always want more. Obviously, the injury to Brown was the highlight of that drive for the negative. Let's hope it's nothing. At this point, we're salivating for news, so we overreact to the good and to the bad at this point. It's hard to judge the defense on that first drive because they had such a short field. I think they had like a 20 or 30-yard drive to finish it out. So we can't really judge the defense against them on that first drive. Both teams are pretty dreadful on third down most of the night. Steele looked really good. Remington Steele tore it up.
Remington Steele, I love it.
Yeah. No, I don't know how much of our audience will get that, JD.
I know it.
I will say, if Remigio is let go, I like Hardman. Hardman on paper can take that job and run with it, pun intended. But the new rules he's going to have to brush up on. Hardman in his career has kind of had some, say, judgment lapses on the field. We've made fun of the IQ on the field a few times, so that was a pretty dumb play. But hopefully they just get some of these mistakes out of the way, especially for the special teams. they always say a lot of teams need the preseason. Like special teams, like this preseason is for special teams, I feel, to get it right and just know the rules and don't carry this crap over into the regular season. Like, get it out of your system now. Figure out the do's and don'ts. Figure out the rights and wrongs. And with the new rules, it's interesting. Who knows how much kicking talent it'll take to be a kicker out there, because we saw Butker make a business decision. So we might see some more other guys kicking out there to, maybe they prioritize tackling over kicking on the kickoffs. So yeah, those are my main thoughts, at least.
Just so you mentioned the Hollywood Brown injury, and that's something I'm monitoring here, and it looks like there is some clarity on that. So Hollywood Brown has the same injury that Tyreek Hill suffered in Jacksonville back in 2019, Andy Reid said. He is at the hospital being checked out. According to Nate Taylor, if that's indeed the case, it means Marquise Brown has damaged his left collarbone. I just went back and looked up what that injury was. Hill had a sternoclavicular joint injury, which is where your clavicle comes into your sternum. Those can be injured coming out the front, up top, or in the back. If it goes posteriorly or back, it becomes a medical issue for us, that we worry that there's more problems. And this is from Rick Burkholder back in 2019. So it looks like it's an SC joint dislocation, which is a few week injury. JD, are you familiar with this kind of injury?
I am very familiar with it. I had it myself, and I was diving for a football in practice, and that part of my clavicle came out of the joint, and it rested right here on my esophagus. And so I couldn't breathe. And I think it's one of the things they take you in, because, it is obstructing your breathing. Okay. It gets shallow. And so they thought they might have to have emergency surgery. That's like that thing that you have at that moment. Like, how bad is it? Is it something that you have to have surgery immediately on, or is it something that you just kind of work on? And when I'm telling you, like, I was like I could not breathe. And that's what it was, that it was pushing right here. When I got to the hospital, I had to tell you, it's a funny story. So I get there and I'm going through the MRI, right? And everything snap. The lady that's put me on the MRI table, she drops me. The nurse drops me. Bam. And she's like, oh my God, like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah. That was like the first time I had a chance to breathe. So she had unknowingly jarred it back from my throat. And I was able, it's crazy. I was able to breathe. And so just that part right there in that joint area where everything meets, it's a little discomfort. I'm trying to think how long I was out. Maybe a couple of weeks, I think, something like that. But it wasn't too bad. It's a lot of discomfort is what it is. And they just got to make sure it's not still jarring and going back and forth. They just want to make sure that that joint place is tight. So I am very familiar with that thing. And it is, when I'm telling you it's painful, it's scary, and discomfort, that's the reason he's at the hospital. Because I'm sitting there like, what? They're getting checked out for what? Like, what is that? That's what it is. So, yeah.
Someone needs to drop him is what you're saying.
Huh?
Someone needs to drop him is what you're saying.
Yeah, let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll make it. Yeah, you make it.
So jar that loose.
Yeah, just go ahead. As far as you can, it's still comfortable for him to get him back in it. Yeah. I'm telling you, man, it was the craziest thing ever. And I told her, I said, man, that's the best I've felt since doing it on the practice field. And that's what I extended my arm to catch a pass, and it just jarred it, and it took my right here collarbone and just came right here. That's what pushed it.
What's the re-injury rate on that? Did that ever happen to you again, or no?
No.
Okay.
No, it didn't happen to me again. And it took some force. It took something like that where something's not given, like the ground did not give, okay, to push my collarbone out of place, out of that joint, to come right here. I mean, you think about it. Just feel your collarbone. It's right there by your throat. It's right here.
Yeah.
Damn.
And it don't take that long to, like, shoot, you push right, it's like, yeah, you can't speak, can't breathe. I couldn't breathe. That was the scary part, because I could not breathe. And that's what the doctors came over, like, we got to get him to the hospital now. Okay. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, Tyreek Hill missed a few weeks during that, and that was during the season when that happened. Luckily, that's all it is. And luckily that we're week 1 of preseason, and we're a month away from the season. So, that's a good thing. Like But
maybe that explains the facial expression he had when they told him. Maybe they were like, it's kind of like Tyreek Hill. He's like, great. Now he had to go to the hospital for that. Great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So at least it's not a long-term thing. At least it's a few weeks. So that is good news in a way. I wish he didn't get hurt, but that's preseason for you.
Yeah. Depending on the severity, though, like I said, so.
Yeah. So obviously Hollywood Brown kind of was the headline of this thing as far as like the newsworthy stuff. But as far as guys taking away, Teja, you mentioned Remington Steele there. We've talked about this for a while as far as who's going to be the guys to step up behind Pacheco. First drive, Pacheco looked phenomenal, busting out that long run. After the ones come out, which I thought was interesting, the starting offensive line left after the first drive. Usually, Reed likes to leave the starting offensive line a little bit longer out there, but he I don't know, maybe with Hollywood Brown's injury, maybe he was like, you know what? No, we're taking the starters out. I don't know. But after that, we didn't really see much on the ground game. Jacksonville was stifling us pretty much the entire game. CH couldn't get going. Deneric Prince couldn't get going until Carson Steele comes in and busts out a 20-yard run, breaking 3 tacklers. And he looked pretty damn good. We were waiting for a guy to pop off the screen, and he popped off outside of Pacheco. What do you guys make of Carson Steele kind of rising in the ranks and potentially being the fullback hybrid, maybe RB2, maybe RB3? What do you guys think of this potential?
I think he looked like a madman. I loved it. I loved every bit of it. I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, I didn't know he had that in him. I mean, he ran over 2 jokers immediately. And it didn't matter if they, who it was standing in his way. He lowered his shoulder, and that is football. That is physical running football. And so a guy that has that type of physicality to his game, you can always appreciate. Mm-hmm. You can. Because you don't have to run around guys. Just run through them. You get to that point, run through guys. And we know that some of the guys in the secondary, man, are softened up. They don't want it. Look, put that on film. Okay? You want to change somebody's mindset? You talking about business decision, Teja? Put that on film. Let them guys see that, okay? And you better get that guy immediately on the ground and hit him in his legs. You try to hit him up high somewhere, he's going to run straight through you. So I loved it.
He's not just a big body either. He's got some legs. He's got a little pickup to him, Mm-hmm. What did he run? Did he run in the 40 time in the either combine or pro day? He didn't look slow. He didn't look slow by any means. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't think
he's probably a 4'6" guy. What is he, 4'6"?
Okay. So what is that?
I'll go a little below that. I'll go like 4'5'7".
So Carson Steele attended Colts local pro day. A 4.75 40.
Yeah. He's he's not a burner at all.
Wish I hadn't looked that up. Maybe he's got game. Like we always say, some guys got speed, some guys got game speed. Maybe he's got game speed.
Hey, listen, if you're running over guys like a locomotive, you don't need speed. You don't need it.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like what we wanted Peyton Hillis to be when we signed him back in the day. So just like good enough speed, but like runs hard, runs over people, push Ross out of the way to get some more yards out of that. He looked good. I mean, CH is in midseason form. Prince didn't really stand out. So Steele stood out.
Yeah, he did.
That's what you want, right?
I would even say this. The way he was running lit a fire under Deneric Prince.
It did. He caught the angle route like shortly after that.
Yes. And you don't think that he's thinking, oh, that might be my carries. That's what I should be doing.
Yep.
So when the coach is sitting there looking at Carson Steele, he turned to look at you. You know what he's thinking, like, what we need you for?
And you see everyone get pumped on the sidelines about it too. You get a little jealous.
Yeah. So he's like, oh, hey, coach, hey, I'm ready to go back in. Okay. Can I get this series? Yeah, go ahead. But Carson's killing it right now. You sure? He's looking good. So you might just want to sit over here on the sideline. You ain't did nothing yet. And so when he came in, you see the juices flowing in him a little bit. He run a little bit harder, had a little bit more shiftiness. And so sometimes you need that. And I thought in my head immediately, I'm like, you know what? Maybe Denarius Prince needs something like that. Okay. He needs somebody to push him. He knows Pacheco and CEH is there. So he don't think anybody else behind him is pushing him for that next spot. Oh, yes, they are. And he showed it. He scored a touchdown today.
And that third spot, I feel like with Pacheco's weight loss, maybe a little less of the between the tackle tough yards, and you have CEH being maybe more of the pass catching kind of McKinnon role. That third guy is going to have to be a masher.
Yeah.
That's going to have to be his specialty, whoever that third guy is, a guy who can get those maybe tough 3rd and 1 yards if Pacheco's tired or something, right? So a guy who can lower his shoulder and basically just do what he did on that play, just see that play. So I feel like whoever can do that better might just have the edge in that third spot.
But I even say this, it's still contingent upon that guy being able to pass block and pass block well.
Yeah.
You know, I know Patrick was only in for the one series, and it's really hard to tell what a guy's going to be able to do. But we got a lot of penetration to our other quarterbacks. Couldn't get the balls off. Sometimes they didn't see guys open. The rhythm was off, and you could tell it. It was a totally different thing when the first team went out to the second team came in, all the backups and stuff. And so, first off, I just want to say, man, to Matt Nauer, who had gotten hurt, man. You're praying for him. Everything's going to be all right. We actually had gotten a call. One of my friends from his mother said that she's not sure exactly what is going on at the moment. Like she thought she might have tore something, but hopefully that's not the case. And so I know it's hard for a guy who's undrafted free agent to make the team, and every opportunity you have to do something out there, you want to be able to show. And hopefully this doesn't hinder him from being able to show his skill set even more than what it is. So,
yeah. So our prayers go out to McCade, Matsuyer. Yeah, that's preseason. You know, the injuries are going to happen. JD, what do you make when you hear fans say this is why we don't need preseason? These guys are getting hurt. We got guys getting hurt, stars getting hurt. We don't need preseason. They need to limit it to 1 game or 2 games, not these 3 games. I mean, it's like I've seen a lot of that on my Twitter timeline of people saying this is why preseason needs to go.
To me, I think it's silly. I think it's ridiculous because if you don't get guys ready, then you start looking like boo-boo at the very first game. And so when I was seeing these other teams playing, they didn't even start the starting quarterbacks. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Y'all expect them to play the next couple of games to get ready for the season? And that's what at least you see Andy let his stars play. These are the biggest stars in the NFL, and they out there playing. So what's keeping you from it? Caleb Williams, hello, talking to you. Okay, rookie coming in. It's keeping him from playing. All right.
He played. In fairness to Caleb Williams, he did play today. He just didn't play during that Hall of Fame game.
Still, man, you need to play as much as possible. Okay, like I get it, but no, people showing up to see you play for 1, but 2, you need as much work as possible.
3, you're a rookie.
You're a rookie. You got to earn your stripes, man. I get it, man.
It's supposed to be for rookies.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I think it's crazy. To me, I'm totally against it. I think guys need to have the preseason games to get ready, to get their timing down, and get everybody other looks. You need guys to get looks. So come on, man, silly.
Yeah, and speaking of guys getting looks as far as rookies, guy we've talked about often on our show is LRZ, who would be the 4th or 5th running back. And like we said, pretty much outside of Pacheco, the only one who really looked good today was Carson Steele, who's going to be getting a little bit fullback, little running back reps. Outside of that, CH, he only touched the ball a few times. Didn't really do much with it. Denarius Prince didn't really do much today. Keontae Ingram didn't do much today. Amani Bailey didn't do much today. LRZ, from an all-around perspective, interesting. But from the running back perspective, he didn't really do much. He caught a screen pass. Pass blocking looked rough, and obviously we pass protection. We talked about that's going to be his trouble. Couldn't really get much going from the ground. That's also from the offensive line was atrocious. I mean, the 2s and 3s, they couldn't really get much going. There was not a lot of push up front. But the LRZ, the cool thing about what he did today, the guy's already kicking off as well. I mean, we talked about his special teams, what he could be a special teams dynamo, kind of all over the place. And he's kicking off balls, and we hadn't really seen much of that. And then we see Butker almost allow a kick return for a touchdown after the safety. And then a couple of quarters later, we have LRC kicking off to have an extra tackler in there because kickoff looked pretty rough today. So, JD, what did you make of the way they used LRC?
I think it's what you have to do with him. You got to see where he's going to be able to fit, right? Throw him out here, try him out preseason, see what you can get out of him. And I think that's because you never know what you're going to find. This is the first time him getting some real game action. And so I know his head was spinning, just trying to understand everything because now you're not running against the same system, not the same defense you see all the time. It's different bodies out there. And so it's a different thing. But look, we know what's going to be a project. We said that. We'll see how everything's going to shake out these next few weeks with him. But yeah, man, throw him in there. See what he can do. Throw him in there. Why not?
Tej, your thoughts on the LRZ experiment? You haven't really gotten to talk about the LRZ experiment at all.
I haven't been surfing the wave, man. I think he's going to have to make an impact anywhere he can. Running back, even though it does sound pretty open for the third spot, it's still pretty tough competition between Prince, Steele. So that's going to be tough. So he's going to have to just find any edge he can. Kickoffs they're interesting this year because the way they are, I mean, you're going to have kickers get like their hands dirty, right? And I don't know how that's going to go. You might see, imagine you start seeing kickers get like hurt on an ongoing basis because like they're have to like get mixed up and like start making tackles on a regular basis. That's not going to be good. They're going to have to like rethink this whole thing if they see like 5 or 6 kickers get hurt in like week 2. So yeah, you might have to start getting guys to kick off, someone else beside the kicker kick off who can do other things and help out in other parts of the field. So he might have to take that role on. You know what? I think, and I agree with you on that. Buckner turned down one today, boy. He turned it down. He wasn't even going to try to attempt to make it. And he just got paid too, so it's not.
He got paid. He said, "Hey, look, man, they don't pay me for this.
Yeah,
they do not pay me all this money to make that tackle. Okay, that's what you guys. But for Dave, Tobe, he's going to make sure he's going to be pissed. He's going to be pissed in special teams, really, because there's missed tackles, guys not getting off blocks. It was atrocious. The way that it looked shouldn't have happened. And I get it, Snoo, but to be the only team to give up those type of yards on a return, that's embarrassing. It is embarrassing. And I don't say that lightly. I'm not saying it to hate on the guys or not, but they want to get that fixed immediately. And I could guarantee Dave's going to come in and he's going to ready to overturn some things, turn some things over. So, and guys need to understand, if you want to make the team, if you're on the cusp about to get cut and you think you might be one of those numbers, you better make sure that you're as tight as you possibly can in special teams. I don't care. To me, that's the messed up part is you can't find yourself getting off a block to make a tackle. And your job is on the line, your career's on the line. You might get cut, be on the street these next couple of weeks. I need to find some dogs out here in the special team who want to play, who want to win a championship and go for a 3-peat. So somebody's going to have to figure it out.
I will say too, as a big fantasy football fan, if you want to find an edge, and if your league does kickoff return yards, try to pinpoint the guys who do it because there were a lot of return yards in this game. I mean, we had the Hardman one, not counting that, right? Because he was -1, he got a safety.
Yeah.
But all the ones we actually return, 32 yards, 31 yards, 25 yards. On the other side of it, 73, 45, 25, 23. The lowest yardage return was 23, not counting the Hardman one. It was an average of like they had an average of 41. We had an average of 22, counting the Hardman one. You take the Hardman one out, our average was like 28 yards. So that's a lot. So I don't know if that's an adjustment that's going to be made, or if that's just how it's going to be this season with return yards. I don't know.
Shoot, it better not be. Had to get somebody fired. So that's how that works. And like I said, the team is as tight as possible. And if I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, look, this is about field position. And we're giving up on average 28, 30 yards. I'm doing a bad job. Okay? So that's unacceptable. And it can't be the standard. You know, you're talking, look, we need to be somewhere at least down in the teens, if anything. Okay? If that. So, yeah, you can't be nowhere up near that at all, you know, so.
Yeah, we definitely looked ill-prepared today, to say the least. So talking about another hot topic, a hot name that this channel, our show, Chief Concerns, has been all over since the day we signed this guy as undrafted free agent out of Clemson. The comeback story that is Justyn Ross. Justyn Ross is a guy that I don't know why there's a lot of Chiefs fans who don't want him to make the team. They're tired of hearing his name every offseason. And this is what really bothers me. Every offseason, really, this is really his second offseason. Last year was his first offseason, although it was a sophomore season, a second year in the league. That was really his first offseason. The first offseason, he got his corrective surgery shortly after minicamp, so there was no training camp with Justyn Ross. Then last year was his first training camp, and then this year is his second training camp. So people say, oh, I keep hearing the Justyn Ross stuff, and I'm tired of the hype. Sorry, it's here, and when he's making plays like he made today in the game, one was called back because of a illegal man downfield, which was great, JD. He rerouted. Play broke down. He goes to the sideline, catches the money ball to the sideline. Love seeing that. And then the jump ball he had on the sideline. I mean, he does stuff that, and the coaches have said this for the last 2 years, he does stuff that people in the room do not do.
Yeah.
His skill set is not matched in that receiver. We have a lot of redundancies. We have a lot of small guys who can catch little screen passes and little rub routes in the middle of the field. We have plenty of guys who can do that. But what he does, there's not a lot of guys who can do that in the league, specifically not a lot of guys on our team who can do that. And I think today, again, he showed what he can do if you give him targets and you give him the opportunity to do what he's doing. And I thought Justyn Ross, first game out, I know people are going to say, the skeptics are going to say, oh, he did it against the third team. He did it in the third quarter. He did it early on the third against guys who aren't going to play, who aren't going to be playing. Not true. Third quarter, you're going to see a lot of guys who be rotating and defensively, especially in the secondary. But what did you guys make of Justyn Ross? Because I'm really optimistic about what I saw from him today, also versus what I saw from other receivers who a lot of people have been talking about. We didn't really produce today, but I saw Justyn Ross produce today. What did you guys make of Justyn Ross and his outing in this first preseason game?
Go ahead, Tage. I'll let you take this one.
To quote Stephen A. Smith, that catch was big time. Okay. That was a big time catch. Everyone's loving that catch, whether he has haters or fans. Everyone's loving on that catch. How can you not? And it looks like he's improved too, right? It's very early on, so I'm not going to go too over the top, but that's what you want to see from year to year, right? He looked way more comfortable. Maybe the game was slower to him. The reroute was great. It just shows he's learning, and that's the kind of stuff you're going to do with Patrick Mahomes. You know, so you're going to have to do this kind of stuff all the time. So, and who knows with Hollywood Brown what's going on? So there could be opportunity there, and we don't know what's happening after pretty much the top 4 receivers, right? After that, you know, so we got Rice, Brown, Worthy, Watson. You're not. So you don't think Watson's got 4 locked down?
I mean, based on
no?
JD and I don't think so, but based on what I saw today, I don't think he played. When the ones were done, he was done. I didn't see him.
Yeah, I know that's what kind of damn. I think they like him more than a lot of people like him. The Chiefs they're big fans. I'm going to say for Ross, Watson 4. After that, it can go a lot of ways. I think Ross has a big opportunity to capture one of those spots. There's nothing else really like him out there, the way he plays. I think that helps him a lot. Making plays like that will definitely help. I got to say, I'm really proud of you, Marcus. It took us to the 29-minute mark for you to bring up Ross. Shout out to you. I did not think it was going to be that long. I mean, that catch alone was worth opening headlines, material.
So you saying Marcus is the one that stand on the table for Ross, huh?
He's a big fan. He's a big fan.
Yeah. So look, man, I get it. I do. I get why people say that, and it's just every season we're saying it's about him. This is his third year. Okay, that's the reality of it, and so because of it, people are wondering if he is worthy of a roster position to take up, or space on the practice squad, or wherever it may be. Does he give you confidence that this guy needs to be on your roster? And I would say yes, he does. For the simple fact, when you've seen the catches like he made today, that tells me we need to be throwing more passes to a guy like this. Nobody else has been up there making the catches like that other than we see Justyn Ross, right? We don't see a Justin Watson making a catch like that. Everybody's saying he might be fourth or fifth. He ain't making a catch like that, okay? Nico Remigio, who gave one up and dropped one in on return ball 2, same body type as everybody else. He ain't making a catch like that. All right. And so when we're talking about a skill set that this guy has, he's a big body receiver that you could throw the ball up and go get it. Pure and simple. Pure and simple. And so I would say, if you want to really open up your playbook, which I know the Chiefs want to do, I think this is the reason Andy has him on here, why everybody's questioning the reason why he's on here, is because they understand the possibilities of having a Justyn Ross out there and what he can do. And he keeps proving them right. Why are we keeping him out here? Andy's like, man, keep proving me right. Nagy, keep proving me right. Patrick's like, see, I keep telling y'all, we need to have this guy in here. So it was unfortunate what happened to him last year, right? When he was starting to get some playing time, then he had the whole debacle with everything that went on with that, okay? Once that cooled down, now it's another, off season, okay? For this guy to show what he can do, all right? We've seen this in the first preseason game. We've been hearing about it all camp. It is time to unleash Justyn Ross, all right? And Marcus brought me over to this side. He did. He brought me over. I was just like, look, I medically, I don't know if he's going to be okay, all right? But my boy was standing on the table for Justyn Ross, and he has not wavered, okay? So shout out to you for not wavering at all, Marcus, on this, all right? And I've been becoming a believer since the past couple of years, all right? This is his third year. So I'm still believing, and I think he can do it. Because the way I'm looking at it, I'm still Worthy, Brown, Rice, Hardman, Sky Moore. I think Justyn Ross. I think Kadarius Toney. I don't know with Justin Watson. This whole thing with Brown, because he's going to be out, opens the door for possibility of other people getting in. There's no question about it, right? Yeah. And so I think that's what it does, at least for him. But I do believe he's safe because he's making plays. He made a play today. He made a couple of them. And so scrambling drill, we said this. I said this other day on the pod. Hey, when it comes down to it, you in a scramble drill, look for Justyn Ross. Pat needs a guy he can just throw the ball to. Well, Carson Wentz, hey, where's Justyn Ross at? There it is.
I'd even say a hot take possibility. I don't know how many of the starters can make that kind of catch.
That's right. That's the point.
He has in the air ball skills that I don't know Hollywood and Worthy and Rashee Rice even do that on a consistent basis. That's like he's got serious in the air ball skills like that. He was doing that in college too.
Yeah. I just got word, man. McCade tore his ACL.
Oh, that's a shame.
Damn.
So.
That's that's the sucky part about about the preseason and about football in general. I mean, it's the injuries happen, and it's unfortunate. Hoping a speedy recovery for our guy McCade, and he's welcome on the show to be a weekly contributor to Chief Concerns as we go through the season.
Love to have him on, man. I'm gonna text him, man. Just tell him to keep his head up, man, and just I know it means a lot, for McCade. Just having that opportunity, man. He was doing well. I know he kind of gave up a sack on one of them, but the play he got hurt on, He had stifled the guy at the line of scrimmage, did a masterful job of pass blocking. And sure enough, the tackle pushed the other guy down into his leg, man. So ACL, dang, got it.
That really sucks.
Wow.
Yeah. So another thing. So Justyn Watson, I don't think logged a snap today, but he's still slowly coming back from that injury. Kadarius Toney was ruled out today with a back injury. He's also been battling the back and ankle. I mean, we talked about you can't make the club when you're in the tub. So I mean, Kadarius Toney, I mean, it's just and he was so low on the wide receiver depth chart. So it's all the makings for Justyn Ross to make the team and hopefully have a pretty solid role. And you look. Sweetheart. I mean, today, I mean, he had a lot of gaffes. I mean, the fact that they called it back on that play, they reversed that one play, but they stripped that ball from him. He had that diving catch, and they stripped that ball, and they took it, scoop and score the other way. They called it, they reversed it, but that was rough. I mean, he didn't have a good day, Remigio, for a lot of the Nico fans. And I liked him in college, but when you get to it's a different world when you're not playing in the Mountain West. Yeah,
I think it messed him up. I don't think he didn't have to dive for the catch either. I think it kind of messed him up a little bit. He'd just be able to stay on his feet and catch it clean. Then he'd be able to make the move he needed to make. And so when he fell down and having to get back up, man, the DB made a great play on it, and they shouldn't have ruled him down. That was a trip and score without a doubt.
Yeah,
I think they got it wrong. And so, fortunately for him, it didn't count against him. But yeah, man, he didn't really have a good day. He didn't have a good day at all.
Yeah, no one really, apart from obviously, no one really had a day that really stood out. I would say the only one that did was Ross and those two catches that he had, those two highlight catches that he had. One was called back, but. I think Ross really stood out today on as far as receiver-wise. Carson Steele stood out running back-wise. And I want to go to this other guy, JD, who you said you wanted to watch for in this game, and that was last year's first-round pick, FAU, King Felix. And this man, the starting left tackle, the number 2 left tackle, it didn't matter who was in front of him. He was getting pressure all night long when he was in the game. He was back in the backfield all night long. And I don't know if it's because he worked with Tamba this past offseason. I don't know, but that man looked like the first round pick that we drafted. What did you guys make of FAU?
I expected more, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay.
I actually didn't read it that way. I think there was times that he was kind of out of gas. Probably should have gotten some more pressure than what he did. And I think he's still developing. I think he's still kind of unsure a little bit. But at some point when he gets in his mind on how good he can really be, then he's going to be able to tear it up. It's the same thing like when George Karlaftis, when he started figuring it out. And he just allowed himself to play. I think he'll be there. Okay, this is his second year, and I get there's a lot on him. He's going to be the starter right now until Charles gets back. But I wanted to see more from him. Wanted to see more, and not that he doesn't have it in him. I know he has it in him. That's what I'm saying. That's why my expectation for him was so high, Marcus. I guess that's what I'm saying. But I wanted to see a little bit more pressure than what I did. I want to see a lot more, not just a little, a lot more. Okay. Hopefully, once he looks at this film, the very next game, man, he's going to turn it loose. Okay, and be ready. So that's my opinion. All right, Teja, you might have a different take. What do you think? Marcus kind of gave his. What do you think?
I think he looked. I think he looked improved. I think maybe the game is slowing down for him too. He had a nice inside move. He was in the backfield a couple times, getting pushed around a little in the run game, but it's improvement, right? I just don't want him to be a friggin' bust. Just at least be a contributing player on defense. I don't even need him to be a 10 sack. 10 sack guy. That'd be great, but just keep improving. Really, if he just improves from last year, I'd be happy just from that. And it does look promising from a first preseason games perspective. How worried are you guys that he was still playing like in the third quarter? Do you think that matters in terms of
No? I think it's, kind of like to my point, man, of you want to see more.
They want to see more.
You got to get ready, man. Look, when this thing is happening, you're the starter. You're the starting defensive end, okay? You're the rush guy, okay? You and Malik, y'all going to be the guys out there rotating. We got to get you ready, okay? We got to get you tired. We got to see what you can do. You haven't played a full game before when you had that many snaps. So, yes, this is why it's important to start to have preseason for guys like him, all right? Practice is one thing, but game speed and all that is something else. And so you gotta push a guy to his limit. You got to get him tired, because now I got to see where you are mentally to deal with this, all right? If you're getting pushed around in the run game, okay, like they were, getting thrown around, that's not good enough, okay? I need to see more. And this is not, believe me, when I'm saying this is not a slight. I'm not saying this is a slight.
Yeah.
But if I know you can do more, show me more, okay? I know you have the ability. I know you can do more. Show me more. That's the reason you're still in there in third quarter, because it ain't you just arrived, okay? Yeah, you've gotten better, but you can be that much better than what you are right now. We need to see that, okay? So that's just me as a demand, as somebody who played in the NFL, me as a coach when I'm evaluating guys who you're going to be going against on Sunday, right? You can't get getting thrown at the club, against the second teamer. You can't. So when you're out here playing with the big boys, you got to show up. And I get first-round pick. Defensive end first-round pick is a whole different thing, I think, as a wide receiver. I think it, to me, at least for me, because all you have to do is go get it. Just come off the football, right? And go get you a couple of sacks. Get you some pressures. Those are things we need to see. So if you know the guy that's opposite of you, if Kalafkis is doing his thing, you need to be right on board with him too. So that's the reason I say that, right? And I'm not saying that as a slight. You got the ability. Keep pushing your ability to be better than what it is right now. So.
Yeah, I do agree in the sense that there was a few games last year we saw him getting pressure, but it wasn't really finishing as far as like being able to get the sack in the end. And I think that was a lot of the elements of what we saw tonight. But I guess for me, it was like consistently seeing him get the pressure, get back there. Yes, it was into the third quarter a little bit. So I mean, yes, you were playing against inferior opponents. Hopefully, a guy who was a first round pick played against some guys who might not even make the team. But yeah, I mean, nonetheless. I did see a little bit. It seemed like there was a little bit more confidence with him tonight than in comparison to last year. I hope so. Being second year,
he looked improved.
Yeah, he improved.
Yeah, nice inside move. If you can just keep working off that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So another guy that we wanted to watch was Nazeeh Johnson, friend of the show. Nazeeh didn't play tonight. Still nursing the knee. Him and Kelvin Joseph, two guys who a lot of people were talking about potentially being, two guys who have rotated into the number 2 spot on defense so far during training camp. Neither played. Joshua Williams did play. He played a whole bunch tonight, being at the number 2 spot when McDuffie was in there, and then he continued playing throughout the game. And it looked like Jacksonville was targeting him. They would look for number 2, and they were just going at any guy who was running around on Joshua Williams. It didn't look pretty. This is probably why they haven't decided on who's the number 2 guy yet, because they're kind of bouncing around between a bunch of guys, because no one really has shown it yet, either through injury, because you got Jalen Watson been injured, the labrum, with the labrum surgery this offseason. Nazeeh, who's still recovering from the knee injury. Kelvin Joseph has been in and out of injury, new guy to the team. But then you have Joshua Williams, who could easily run away with this thing. I mean, everyone else is injured. You could run away with this thing, and it's just not there. JD, what did you guys see from Joshua Williams tonight?
All right, man. Okay, I know it sounds like I'm getting down on guys. Okay, I know it sounds like that, and I'm not. But you're making a great point on saying, if this is your spot, take it. Don't leave it, no ambiguity whatsoever whose spot it is and whose job it is. And coaches can read guys' body language. If a team's going after them, okay, it's because they see something on the other side of it, right? They know it. They can smell blood in the water. There's a reason for this. So, you make your stand. Put a statement on who you are at corner. You just had one of the biggest acquisitions leave from the Chiefs and big shoes to fill. Well, you set your own shoes, okay? You played in big games against some big opponents. Now it's time for you to become a killer, right? We talked about this. We were just sitting there talking about the Olympics, all right? And we sit there and watch how killers play, okay? Whether it be Think of Bo, right? How she's going to run somebody down, okay? And the relay, the 400 hurdle, like, when she's coming, she's going to be a killer. And everybody know who's behind her because, like, Think of Burrow's like a few steps behind me. Steph Curry, killer. He didn't blink. He came in, he's like, give the ball to me, okay? And I'm going to show you how this thing works. And he went and he just started filling it up, start lighting them up. So it's a mindset, okay, you want guys to be, all right? I think Josh Williams has great ability. I think he's a great corner. But now I need to see that killer instinct, okay? Look, rookie's going to come in and make a play. Thomas made a play on it. You should let him make that catch. You should be bullied. It's bully ball now. Put your hands on him. Put your hands on him. Let him understand this is your first year here. I'm the big dog. You got to come through me. So I think the same way I'm talking about FAU, the games are in a couple of weeks away. Make your statement. You're going to be the guy. Make it. So I don't care what you need to start eating, red meat, whatever you need to start doing, Josh Williams, but I'm on your side. I am. I'm pushing for you because I know you have the ability. I've been on the table for you since you got here because I know you can do it, okay? Take it over, though. Take it. Go ahead, Teja.
So he was pretty handsy on that play, too, and what's his name still caught it.
Still caught it, yeah.
But he didn't get flagged for it, so, hey, if it's not flagged, then it's good coverage. So
good coverage.
It's good coverage. Hey, if it's not a foul, it's tough defense.
Right.
So he was tight on him. And it was a great catch. Yeah, it got me thinking too. Because I'd like them to step up and be that guy. I mean, he's part of the reason why we, let Snead go. We're deep at cornerback. We've heard all about that. We still have money left. Right. So, maybe we're seeing what position we might need to shore up in case it's not as deep as we thought it was. So, maybe that's why we didn't spend all that money. We're like, you know what? Let's hang on to it. A lot of free agents didn't sign contracts, and actually cornerback's one of the deeper positions left in free agency, I believe. So, if he does struggle, no harm done in signing someone else. To bring someone else in. Not to say we're giving up on him because we're not, but you also don't want to, hitch your wagon to that either and be like, go have our secondary go down because he's not reliable and we have someone getting picked on every game. Especially with most teams have 2 to 3 talented receivers now. It's not like a 1A anymore. There's 1A and 1B on most teams, right? Teams are stacked at receiver. So, I'm not, again, I started this whole thing by saying I don't want to overreact to the good or bad. But at the same time, preseason's shorter. So if you are going to make those decisions, you want to do it before the season starts. It might have to be in the next week or two when you do have to start making those decisions on bringing on someone else and having them, come on and join that position.
Well, I think the answer's in the building, regardless. And for Spags to just use somebody else because we are deep. I don't think you need to go out and go get somebody else in here. I don't see another corner out here. At least I haven't checked to see if we have somebody out here who's worth that type of money to bring in at that time. When you have Jalen Watson, who's coming off this injury, okay, who's a very good corner, right? Nazeem, once he gets his knee, the flaring down, he could come and step up and do that. We got, a draft pick, Okay, he'll come in and we'll give him a couple of shots. I think we got guys in the building. And all Spags is saying is like, man, if this is supposed to be your position, you just take it over. Why don't you be a guy? Because if you are not getting it done, then I got 2 other guys who can. I'll switch all y'all guys out if we need to each and every play and let y'all get a series after series until somebody decides they want this to put it on their plate. Okay? Because I don't have to go search on the road for somebody. I don't have to look on the streets to get a guy. The answer's in this building. Okay? We just need to find out who that guy is. Somebody needs to say, hey, coach, I'm it. I'm the one. Okay? Yeah. I'm going to be the showstopper. I'm going to be the one that's going to lock everybody down, coach. Don't worry about it. Don't look nowhere else. Don't make no phone calls. I don't want you going to meetings and saying, hey, do we need to get somebody else in here? The answer's there. The answer's there. So he just needs it. You just need to want it. We just need to see that from you. And I'm telling you, man, how coaches are thinking. If they don't see that killer instinct in guys, right or wrong, they can move on from you. They can think something's wrong. It's the same thing how Gruden moved on from Amari Cooper. Because see, when Amari Cooper's guy, he didn't feel like he was a rah-rah dude. He didn't really show up a particular way. He was like, he don't need to be here. We can do without him. And Amari Cooper's a great wide receiver. We know that. We can see what he's been able to do. But I just need to see Joshua Williams be a little bit more assertive. Okay.
Yeah, and I think Minnesota's bringing in Stephon Gilmore Monday, so if they are going to act on a veteran, if they are going to act on a veteran, you know that the teams are doing what you're saying, Teja. So,
yeah,
I mean,
this is the time to do it.
It's Minnesota. They looking for a whole lot of different people.
Yeah, the top quarterbacks out there are him and Dory Jackson.
Yeah. I mean, Minnesota went from Patrick Peterson. So they're going for the old vets, just kind of bouncing around with those types of guys.
They're like the tire kicking. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Now I was gonna say it's always funny when sometimes you see the old vets come in and they get cooked on one, and you realize why you like. Yeah, I see why he was on the street. He got nothing in his legs left. He's trying to chase him down. He ain't got it. So
that was like a couple of years ago. We picked up Darrelle Revis, and you could tell Revis was not the same Darrelle Revis. He was he was a little thicker too. He's a little pudgier.
Yeah.
He said, hey, Darrelle? Yeah, that's me. Like, oh, okay. Hey, you look kind of fit. Like you put a couple pounds on, man.
It wasn't Revis Island anymore. It was like Revis Peninsula at that point.
So I wanted to end the show on talking about a positive. So Jaden Hicks, rookie, looked pretty good today. He's a sure tackler, special teams wise. Ooh, okay. So Jaden Hicks is the 2 of the rookies I want to talk about, Jaden Hicks and Jared Wiley. And hopefully today is a good reason why people should cool down on calling people Travis Kelce before they actually ever play a game. Jared Wiley, yes, first preseason game, is what it is, first game. He caught a nice little ball on the sideline, and I think it was like a 4-yard gain. And then he caught one, fumbled the ball, recovered it. And yeah, it wasn't the best game for Wiley, and I hope people can kind of relax a little bit on the Wiley stuff. Because I mean, just it's going to take time for these guys to kind of acclimate to a different game from college to NFL. You're not playing in the Big 12 anymore. You're playing in the AFC West. You're playing in the NFL. But JD, what did you make of the 2 rooks, Jaden Hicks and Jared Wiley, 2 of the guys who've gotten the most hype from a rookie class?
I think Jaden Hicks was just okay. Thought he was just all right. I think he made some mistakes defensively. He missed a couple guys in tackles. He made that 1 tackle. I think he was the one that didn't he hit the quarterback. Was he the one that hit the quarterback behind? Did he get the penalty on him?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. So there was some things, man, that he still needs to grow. He's a rookie, so I think he did okay. All right. So I don't want to be a negative Nancy. Okay. I've done that ever since asked me the last 2 people negative. So I'm trying to bring some other stuff back, right? And Tage, I'm trying to take your advice. I'm just looking at it from my standpoint that these guys, there's still some growth there. It's just some growth. So he's got a ways to go. Jared Wiley, I think he played decent. Looked like he lost some weight, man. He's done thinned up.
He looked a little thin. You're right.
Real thin. And I think Irv did a good job coming in. He looked thick.
Pacheco and Wiley on the same diet.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a little thinned up. And I see Irv block really well. He blocked really well. But, you know, we know Jared Wiley can catch the football. We know that. He's more of a known for his catching ability, athletic ability. So he's going to be able to get open. He's going to be a weapon for us in the passing game, no doubt. And so he's going to have to get just a little bit more on his tail to get some good blocks. So, but yeah, first preseason game. I'm gonna leave it there. First preseason game. So,
Tage, thoughts on Hicks or Wiley?
Professor Dunn, man, he's pissed off and he has got to do summer school duty this year, giving everyone tough grades in the preseason, huh?
Oh, man.
He's a little pissed off. They made him right for his tenure. They're making him do summer school. Taking it out of everybody. He had to move his vacation time.
I got a list real quick. I got a list here that says good and not so good. I have everybody on the side that did good and not so good. So go ahead.
I first game action, I thought Hicks looked pretty good. They stood out. I know they're going to make mistakes, and this is one. You know, it's preseason's 4 mistakes, right? So I'm okay with that. Just stand out a little bit, right? At this point, making mistakes is going to happen. I'd rather make it now than make it about a month from now. Make it a month from now, we might lose a game, and I'm going to be pissed off and not like them. So make it now, learn from it, and film during the week, and get better every week. I thought he looked good. I thought, Wiley, you could say Wiley kind of had some, not focused Travis Kelce in him today with that fumble.
Oh, God. Oh, God. So even the mistakes are Kelce mistakes. You're crazy, man.
Kind of the bonehead mistakes you get pissed off at Kelce about, like, come on, Travis, what are you doing out there? So even his mistake was kind of Kelceism, huh? Yeah, he looked a little rough. He did look lighter. He looked a little quicker. I'm excited to see him every week in the preseason, though. There's a few guys that I look for when they're out there. I like seeing him out there. I want to see him block. I know you probably do too, JD, or maybe you don't because you're scared to see what he's going to do. But
I was watching the Joker today.
Yeah, he definitely needs to. He'll work on that. I'm excited to see them. But it's early. Hicks looked better, I think, than Wiley did. But it's for the time of mistakes. I'm not going to again overreact on either thing.
Yeah, the contrast was interesting to see Wiley play deep into the game, I think maybe early fourth quarter, late third, and Xavier Worthy only played with the start with the ones. Didn't see him again. Once the ones were done, we didn't see Worthy come in at all, which tells you maybe it could tell you a few things. It could tell you, wait, Hollywood just got hurt. Xavier ain't doing nothing. You're staying on the sideline with us, or it could tell you how much he's kind of grown with his offense already, where the chemistry's already there. It's like, we've seen enough from you. We don't need you out there with the twos. I mean, it could be. No, you think it's a Hollywood Brown factor, JD?
Absolutely, 100%. Like you start looking down the line on the bench. You're like, looking a little bare, a little thin out here. You have a seat. You sit down. We can't put you in harm's way. And I think Wiley, because you do have kind of a deep bench on tight ends. None of those guys was hurt. They could play. Plus, Wiley can do all those different things. Same thing. Let's get him ready. Get him prepared. He could play, 3 or 4. Yeah, 3 quarters. No question about it. What are you saving him for? These young guys, why save them? Unless it's for Worthy, and that's the only reason, because you are thin at wide receiver. So that's the only reason. Yeah.
I would say they probably scared them when Brown went down there. But you know what? You're good, Worthy. Let's pull you out. I don't know. Yeah, I can see why other guys made plays or played longer. That tackle on the flat was nice by Hicks, though. That when he was grabbing what's his name, the running back's legs and didn't let go, gave him a little gave him the gator roll. I mean, he was
You also have the shoestring tackle on the punt return as well.
Yeah. Two good plays.
You want to stand out, like we said. You want to stand out. That's good. Just stand out, minimize mistakes, and move on. But I think Hicks is going to be a player for us this year. I think he's going to stand out a lot this year.
Yeah. Well, guys, that does it for week 1 of Chiefs preseason is in the books. So we'll throw that one away. We'll look at the film even more so this week. So Monday, JD and I will be back on the our channel, Chief Concerns. We'll be talking about this, as well as Wednesday we'll be continuing to talk about our Chiefs upcoming preseason game. And then we'll be back right here on Bleacher Report stream next Saturday at around 7 p.m. The Chiefs game starts at 4 o'clock. So around 7 p.m. we'll be back on to discuss week 2 of preseason. So from now on, I don't know if we're going to see any cuts this week, JD. I don't know if cuts are happening. They begin this week, or is it after the second game of the preseason when we start to see the locker room kind of dwindle?
Oh man, I don't even know. They do all different now, true. Because I think you can hold guys until maybe after the second preseason, or maybe third.
Yeah,
you unload it because they're just giving them more time now because you have less games. So
that's true.
I don't think they're gonna make too many cuts unless it's gonna be somebody they think can go somewhere and maybe get on a squad, right? So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so stick with us. We'll be your Chiefs stream all throughout the preseason, and of course, we'll be with you guys during the regular season. So another year with Bleacher Report. We're excited about it. And come check our channel out on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts. We'll see you guys next time. See you, fellas.
Later on.
Oh.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.